Tomorrow, the Court of Appeal will hear the case of Sam Hallam, who was convicted of murder in a gang fight in East London in 2004. His case has been referred by the Criminal Cases Review Commission, whose report, obtained by Channel 4 News, is unusually critical of the senior investigating officer in the original inquiry. A number of alleged failures are laid at the door of then Detective Chief Inspector Mike Broster, who's the same officer recently criticised for his role in the spy in the bag case. Our Home Affairs correspondent, Simon Israel, has this exclusive report.
Sam Hallam was 18 years old when convicted of murder. He was found guilty of being part of a group which descended on its target with baseball bats and knives. A campaign to free him has gone on for the last 5 years. Their contention is simple. Sam Hallam was never at the scene near London's Old Street tube station. The murder took place here at this junction back in 2004. There were dozens of people around at the time. Every aspect of the original Metropolitan Police investigation has been heavily scrutinised by another police force. It found failures and shortcomings, deficiencies in fact, which form a crucial part of Sam Hallam's appeal. And the man who led that original investigation is the same officer who departed the spy in the bag inquest under a cloud. As the vetted liaison between the police investigation and MI6, Superintendent Mike Broster was criticised for undermining the inquiry. He was accused of not being totally impartial and of failing to pass on potential evidence from MI6. Tomorrow, Mr. Broster's credibility will receive another hammering, this time in the Court of Appeal. Channel 4 News has obtained a report which suggests his handling of the murder investigation which led to Sam Hallam's conviction 7 years ago bears similar hallmarks. Concerns raised by the Criminal Cases Review Commission include
the failure to pursue reasonable lines of inquiry
and
the failure of the senior investigating officer to record his investigative decision-making and rationale.
It's remarkable that the criticisms of the then DCI Broster are very similar to the criticisms that the coroner made of him. Generally, there was a lack of investigative zeal in the original murder inquiry. Leads that should have been followed up weren't followed up. Evidence wasn't properly examined, and there was quite abysmal recording of the progress of the investigation. But there was also a casual attitude taken towards the disclosure of important information.
the conduct of the then DCI, now Superintendent Broster, may, in the words of the Commission, become a significant factor in tomorrow's appeal. But the long-running campaign in this pocket of London has focused more on its concerns about the lack of pursuit of other potential suspects, the lack of disclosure of evidence, and the lack of corroborating witnesses to Mr. Hallam's presence that night. It's the second time his case has gone to the Court of Appeal. His mother is more hopeful, armed with such a critical review of the original investigation.
You know, I'm not educated, but like my friend was reading it, and you just think, how did this happen? And nothing was done for Sam, and I've always said that, and that hurts, because I said it's not, you know, I'm his mum, but it's like when I look at my other children as well, what they've gone through. It rips the whole family apart. You know, and I said, is anyone ever going to take responsibility?
As for Mr. Broster's performance, Scotland Yard declined to comment on the criticisms ahead of tomorrow's appeal.